Good evening. My name is Rick Cardinal, and I am an art collector. And thought I would show you one of my favorite paintings I'm working on right now. It's, I believe, Frederick of Brandenburg in Oshbach. It is dated 1525, and the lower right-hand corner, signed with the serpent, Lucas Cranach the Elder. The painting is totally in gold, gilded. I asked AI on the chain mall how many pieces of individual chain links are there, and it came back with over 4,500 individual chain links, which would have taken forever. Over the gilding is incredibly fine, detailed scroll work. More chain maul. So I originally took this, first person I took this to show this to was at the Isabella Stewart Museum, the head conservator. He was kind enough to let me bring it in and show him. And he was the first one that told me that this, in fact, was real gold on the painting, gilded gold. He also took a look at the monogram, which I don't know if we can zoom in to see, because it's difficult to see there. It's right there in the middle, but it's very hard to see right now. But I have other pictures of it. It is the serpent monogram. I'll show you that in a minute. Then he recommended I take this to Williamstown University, scientist Christine Puza, which I did. And it came back that the pigments were consistent of the time of Lucas Cranach the Elder. So I have a complete report on that. Ironically, a couple years ago, there was a painting in the Queen's collection, Mother and Child, which was proven to be authentic and not by Franz Wolfgang Roerich. So we know Roerich didn't make these up in his head. He actually had seen these somewhere in some collection. I actually sent for the inventory of what the Queen bought when she gave the mother and daughter painting to Albert for Christmas. So that's coming in, because if he copied that one, because he did, I think, 13 copies of the Mother and Child, and that's the one that was proven to be real. So that kind of shows it right there that he did see them. So a couple other interesting things here. Here is, my painting. It was copied in 1730 by this one, this artist that sold at Frank Boo's auction house. Frank Boo's isn't around anymore, unfortunately, because he had this attributed to Lucas Cranach. This is the one that was copied by Franz Wolfgang Roerich. And again, totally left out much of the armor. No 4,000, 4,500 individual chain links. Again, he used more modern 1830 pigments on his paintings. He didn't use 16th century pigments, and I'm pretty positive he didn't grind them up, and he wouldn't have grind them up. So in order to for mine not to be the real deal, and say someone copied it, they would have had gone out and found a period painting, grinded up all the materials, and applied gold. It's just not going to happen. Again, these are the three of them in a row. So there's a lot of paintings of Frederick that you can see, Frederick in his gold armor. This one's in the Metropolitan. It also has his wife, Sophia, along with it. In the Charles Ellis Museum, there's another one of these, and I'm telling you, the one at the Charles Ellis Museum, they have that attributed to Franz Wolfgang Roerich, but I think that one's the real deal. When I was looking up history and looking through archives, the Ellises actually traveled across the sea to get that painting. So, a long time ago. So I also, talking to Corpus Cronach, and they told me that there is no other stances like this. You know, Cronach wasn't known for doing this. Well, again, we got the ones that I just showed you that are on Corpus Cronach that show these guys on there. So there's the same stance. And then they said, well, there's no other poses. Well, 1520, here's two princes that were done. Pretty much the same pose. And actually, chain maul, you can't really see it, but they got the chain maul in there, individual chain links. Here's another one right here. So yeah, two confirmed Cronachs right here. They did paint in that stance. Here's a little bit more details of the chain links. I have an incredible amount of information and proof. I'm just trying to like narrow this down a little bit. I had an X-ray done at Williamstown University. You can barely see his face right there, but AI was able to pull out the underdrawing, which is really interesting because if you look at the one in my painting, he's wearing like a Hercules style helmet, which was the rage supposedly in right around the early 1525. But here in the underdrawing, it's a totally different helmet. So it always baffled me that the armor looked older than 1525 armor. So I started doing a little more digging, and his father, Frederick's father, Achilles, actually wore his golden parade armor into battle. And then I started thinking, what if that little miniature painting around his neck there, which is here in this painting with a guy in it, what if that's his dad, Achilles? What a political tribute. Here he was locked in Tower Plazenburg for 13 years, and they let him out, after Casimir died, and as a tribute to him, they have him painted in his father's Achilles golden armor. And then, did they upgrade the helmet maybe to the lion helmet, the Herculean style helmet? Or did they do that when he wanted it painted? But you can read about Achilles' armor and how he actually wore it into battle, which is pretty wild. But the helmet is not a lion helmet under the drawing. So then I was emailing with a guy at Corpus Cronach, and he said, well, really not sure we like the monogram. They didn't do his monogram like that. Well, yeah, he did. Here's a painting 1529 with the dragon with the ring in its mouth. There's the dragon with the ring in its mouth, dated 1525. And again, when I showed this at the Isabella Stewart Museum, they said there's no way this monogram was added. This monogram was here for as long as this painting existed. The crackledge goes right through the monogram. So here I am. Have a painting which I am pretty convinced is the lost painting of Frederick of Brandenburg. I also have, this is not the original frame, I also have the original frame in the other room when it was in inventory in Hammer Gallery, and it was put into his inventory 11/11/1974. And Hammer Galleries was known for doing and collecting old master paintings before they went totally impressionist. So this would have been something they definitely would have been attracted to sell to their clients. I would love to know your thoughts on this. The panel is on beechwood panel, which is what Cranach used. So here it is. Please contact me at wurlmachine@aol.com, wurlmachine@aol.com. I would love to know your opinions on this. Oh, and another thing too, the one that was proven in the Queen's collection, which drives me crazy. This one has the same thing proven on it. It's got, all the carbon dating. It's got the pigment test. It's got, all the same elements that were found in the one that was proven by the Queen's collection, and it's in all gold. And yet, nobody wants to put their neck out. So anyway, that's it. I'm ranting. Thank you very much for your time, and love to know your thoughts. Bye.